Hey, welcome to the Angel Channel. Yes, tonight is a special evening, and we are going to actually move some physical objects with our energy. We've been kind of like making it a practice evening every Monday now, and I've gotten such good response back. I'm glad it's helping some people, and that they're excited about progressing on. And yeah, it'll be a really fun night. Get a little bit of news catch up. Well, first of all, it's the gibbous the moon. It's the last sliver right before the moon goes full. It's my absolute best day of the month. It's kind of like the nine of pentacles. It's like it's started to come in and you feel that good fullness, but all of a sudden it's just got a little more to go. It's just going to pop right on. And that's how tonight always feels. Gibbous moons always feel for me. It's like this moment of expectation while you're in it, but there's more goodness to come. So enjoy that. And the fact that Mercury has gone direct. Man, I don't know about you, but this retrograde was brutal on pretty much everything I owned broke. Crystal balls, my lens on my camera, like man, just across the board. So it was kind of a struggle to keep my sense of humor about it. But when it's what's happening, it's kind of better just to laugh at the absurdity of it and go on about your business. Leah and I had our event this weekend, the yoga sound journey soul spa, and we had a few people turn out, and it was a really really great night, morning and afternoon, and we got in some amazing practice. And everybody got their auras all sparkled up and yogaed out, and it was really great. We're planning the next one, so I hope you'll come down and join us. We're going to be talking about this is kind of a milestone. Grasshopper Jacob and I have been working on this. Jilly got us into. Hey, Jilly, woohoo! Grace, glad you're there. Ah, it's Mr. Zen. So Jilly kind of got me into these crazy things called the orgs, and they're cool resin things with crystals and other elements in there, and copper wires, and they're supposedly generators of organite energy, and I found them really cool. And in my exploration with them, I found that the resin is a great. It's really grabby. It holds on to energy, so you can program it really, really good. And the other wonderful thing about the resin, as opposed to natural quartz, is that the resin leaks the energy back out. Like the charge dissipates like super, super, super slow. So we kind of took this on, and this wound up being a magical journey for Jacob, and just kind of a fun thing overall. We took a crystal that I have and made a mold of it, and this is a piece of resin. This is the first one that's kind of gotten there. It still has a long way to go, and we got some surface stuff to do, but it's pretty crazy. And this will be a crystal programmed for abundance, and on each side is a sigil that relates to a different kind of abundance for love, abundance for success, abundance for knowledge. It'll be pretty cool, I think. And one of the great things about this that I'm really loving is like this. So you get that sigil on the back, and you get the sigil on the front. It makes this 3D thing. I haven't really got to experiment with what that does yet, but I'm really, really looking forward to that. I was going to use this I'm actually going to charge this one up and see what happens with it. I was going to use this with the rod spinning tonight to charge it up, but I decided that it needs a really pure, like, charge, not connected to anything else. So we'll do a substitute. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, here's the real crystal it came from. So we'll use that one, charge that bad boy up tonight. Um, I have been teaching uh, the rudimentary skills to be able to start a really serious practice. A meditation receptive practice, but also a projective, like telekinetic real energy practice. And there are four, I kind of have broken it up into four separate classes. Cara and I gave an amazing 4 week seminar on this, and a number of people did really well. So I'm hoping everybody will give this a go, if not tonight, over the next couple of nights. So it's broken up into four things. The very first thing you have to be able to do to start any kind of projective practice is to be able to have access to your personal energy, to your inner light, and to be able to tell it to do things with your intent and your will and have it actually do that. So I've been sneaking all of my little things in to the meditations and our previous practice, and that's what that gathering energy is that we do at the beginning of it. Calling all of that energy, really focusing in your center, and then the practice part of this for that particular lesson is then to take that ball of energy and move it up and down and around your body, to take it all the way up, and when we're actually doing it in person and we've got the time to hang with it, it's important that you gather all of your energy. And how do you tell that? Well, when you take all of your energy from your solar plexus and put it in one part of your body, specifically your left hand, and you're in the kind of meditation zone and you're like focused on every bit of your energy being in your left hand, it's really funny. You can see people start to lean because it feels like it has density and weight to it. And that's what you need. And then being able to send that to anywhere in your body is not just a trick to do. But if you think about it, if you have liver problems, if you have any kind of health issues, you can take that energy, you can program it to be golden healing energy, specifically warm, hot, golden healing energy. Send that to places where you're needing it, and boom, it'll really fix you up and keep you in a good zone for a long time. Not to mention that just energy practice every day keeps rejuvenating your dead cells in your body, the cells that are broken and not working anymore, defective. All of those kind of go away and get replenished with brand new cells, kind of like Doctor Who. So the second class is about your aura and understanding your aura, all the structures in it, that it's not just a glowing chunk of light, but that there are specific things about it that have functions. And just like your body has functions, your physical body has functions, your light body has functions as well. Your first band close to your body, that's your earth, that's your interface between your astral and the upper astral and your actual physical body. Your second band, which is your biggest band because that's your emotional band. The third band, which is your mental band. And then the fourth band, which is your energy interface between the upper astral and your upper bands, and the bands you actually live in here. And understanding colors, how to move those colors around, how to shift set points, what are set points, being able to learn, teach yourself to be able to perceive an aura, probably the best thing I've ever done for myself. I was not able to do that when I started my practice. It's something I've worked on and continue to work on all the time. And the better I get at being able to see that, the richer things get and the more accurate I am in being able to help somebody, heal some stuff up. I mean, your aura tells you exactly what's going on with you inside and out. So understanding that has been a really crucial thing. And that's what we've been doing as we take that ball of energy inside and push it out into the light body around you and brightening that up. Yeah. So that's the other one we snuck in, and then being able to shield yourself and ground yourself. All the cleansings, the elemental cleansing that we did. Um, that's all, the whole third class of that, and that goes really deep, way deeper than we've gone with it. But what we're doing are the core pieces of all of those. So I figured that we had gotten to the point where we'd gone through the first three. We might as well do the fourth. And that one is about actually taking your energy, not just being able to move it around in your body, but send it out of your body. And you're taking energy. Most of the time we're taking our energy and trying to elevate it higher. But this particular thing is you're going up high and you're bringing it down to where we live. And it then has a density, and it has enough density to be able to move something in the real world. And that cracking that one thing with and while the way we'll do that tonight is we're going to take an antenna off a boom box, and we're gonna take a crystal. This is out of an old enlarger, photo enlarger I have. It's got a really nice rounded top, and I'm going to balance this on top of that, and with my energy, spin this thing around in circles. And, you don't go doing gymnastics without doing a ton of push-ups and weightlifting beforehand. And this is kind of that very first thing. It's like the C scale. It's like the letter A in the alphabet. It's kind of the key into pretty much everything else that you could do telekinetically and energetically, being able to actually use your energy. And if you think about it, like, why do something spinning? It's just a trick. Well, if you think about everything in the universe spins, there's nothing in the universe that isn't spinning. You have multiple trillions of cells right now. The nuclei of all of those are moving and spinning. The atoms that are happening are spinning. The earth is spinning. Everything is spinning. And in that motion and movement, there is kinetic energy that you can latch onto and use. So this is a lesson that never has an end, as simple as it seems to be. And as many hundreds of times as I've tried to show people this, it never gets old when somebody latches on. There are a couple of you out there that have latched on, and you can tell it changes your life for real. I should tell you a story about the very first time I did this. This was the fulfillment of a deal I made with my teacher. I had gone to the hospital like in a really bad zone. I was like weighing 400 pounds. My blood sugar was a diabetic coma. The doctor said, dude, come waited a couple of days. We'd be having a funeral for you. And I wound up hooking up with my teacher, although I'd known him for a while. But he made me a deal that if I'd get my health together, lose 100 pounds, and get back into a good zone, he would teach me my first effect. And that I had been trying to connect with him for like 5 years, and it was the first time that that really looked like it could happen. And it just filled me with this joy and this hope and this purpose. And man, I just went at it. So he showed me this effect. I went over to his house. He did it a couple of times. He said, "You can go back to your house and do it." And that was pretty much the extent of the explanation I got. So I was living in a really small shack in the most amazing garden ever in Coconut Grove down in Florida near Miami. And I had just moved in there. The garden didn't exist yet. It was just a bunch of weeds and stuff and mosquitoes, tons and tons and tons of mosquitoes. And the weather had been a particularly hot spell. So my teacher's mode was don't even go out until midnight, because the waves of the ocean are way too turbulent. There's too much static. You go out and you're trying to especially at the beginning where everything makes a difference. You're trying to go out there and during rush hour and everybody's squealing in the cars and all the intensity, like it causes major waves on the ocean. So he just got me really in the habit of starting about midnight, 1 o'clock, and going to 3 or 4 in the morning, and it's all calm and quiet. Everybody's sleeping. Man, it's a much better space. So he gave me 3 weeks to accomplish the effect. And I went home all gung ho, and I'm out like, boom, no, nothing happened. And I would go out like, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and I'd be out there for 2 or 3 hours, and I'm pushing, and I can feel it's happening. I'm filling it up with juice. It should be moving, and it just sat there. So, the danger in that zone is that you get frustrated and it winds up becoming, I failed. Oh, this sucks. I'm never going to get there. But what you have to kind of like perceive it as is you're trying to do something impossible that the world has told you since the day you were born was impossible. It's just a fantasy. So there's part of you that's rebelling at the fact that you're even trying to accomplish this. So I always kind of saw it as the effect was this really brilliant, beautiful jewel on the other side of some thick, bulletproof glass. And every time I went out to go try to spin, even if I didn't get it, I was banging against the glass and making some cracks. So the night before the final night, I was running out of time and I was going to miss my chance. And it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've been out there for a long time, and that thing was so jacked up, and I had jacked myself up. I've been eating all the right foods, Monstera Delicioso, and I was dragon fruit, and I was just jacked to the max, and I'd spent all day gathering energy and getting revved up to make it happen. So I'm looking at the rod is just kind of sitting there shaking a little bit, but it's not moving at all, right? So I'm still just focused hard, move. And all of a sudden a bird flies up and lands on the wood fence about 6 feet away from me and chirps at me, cheep, 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 which caught my attention. And I broke my concentration on the rod and looked over at the bird. And then when I looked back at the rod was moving. And I was like, wow. Okay, so lesson. I was pushing, I was latched, but I needed to let go. Life hack. Yeah, so I remember that feeling so like it was yesterday. And I must have jumped up about 10 feet in the air. I'm like yelling, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's amazing police didn't show up. And a funny story, I've been teaching a friend of mine, and we got to the rod spinning part. He'd been working on it a few nights, and all of a sudden, really, it was late. Fram on the door, man. He's like standing there, no shirt on, with this like glow going on, and he's like jumping up like 3 feet in the air. I did it. So that moment that you actually move it, and your mind goes, dude, you really did that. Wow, you really moved something with your energy. That was impossible. And as soon as that glass shield of impossibility shatters the first time, it never really gets put back again. And the more you do, the more you go, and the more you get, and like, oh man, it just swells and changes the texture of your life in so many ways I can't even begin to tell you. So let's talk a little bit about, if you want to really take on a serious energy telekinetic practice, there are some things, especially at the beginning, when you're trying to write the groove and you're trying to like get all the energy going in the right zones. You'll notice it's not just one thing. It's a collection of a bunch of things. Eating the right things, like doing the energy right, not eating an hour before you're trying to practice. There's all kinds of little things that add up that finally just get to this point where it pushes you over the edge. And then after you practice for a couple of years, it's like it doesn't really matter. You're in that zone all the time, and you can always go to that. One of the most crucial things that you can do is pay attention to what you eat. Like sugar's terrible. It's a drug in and of itself. If you're eating lots of carbs, lots of sugar, your engine's not going to be running right. Carbonation in any kind of drinks, like if it's got bubbles, that carbonation is diluting the energy that you've built up. So it kind of keeps you in this zone where it's like, you're just flat all the time. And there are bad things about sodas, but it doesn't really matter if it's a soda or not. It's carbonated water. Anything that has those bubbles in it, not good. On the side of what can you eat to help you gain energy, doing a projective practice where you're actually physically exerting effort to do something like that uses some really different chemicals in your body really quickly. One of those is oxalic acid, which is in all citrus fruits. My particular favorites are I love lemons and oranges out the yazoo. When I was first beginning to practice, I made sure I had a big navel orange every single day. Pineapple is amazing. Dragon fruit, dragon fruit is kind of neither here nor there as far as taste and flavor goes, but it's one of the fastest things to gather a bunch of juice that I know of. And there's also a fruit called Monstera delicioso. And of all things, it's in the rhododendron family. And for the young part of its life, it's poisonous. And it grows in these long, like corn on the cob looking things. And they're green with all these weird scales on them. And it has this flesh inside that tastes like pineapple and bananas. It's crazy. And it's so over the top with oxalic acid that, like, for me, my teacher can eat one of those and an hour later he's like buzzing on it. My metabolism uses it differently, and it's usually the next day for me. But it's like super over the top. So that's a really good thing to do. You want to make sure if you're going to start practicing seriously that you do not eat at least 3 hours before you go to move your rod or whatever you do your mat or whatever that you're working on. The digestion process soaks up a lot of energy from you, and there's also that edge where you're not sluggish and you're full of energy and kind of on that razor's edge instead of feeling a little sloshy. So skipping or not skipping or fasting, just make sure that's another reason for practicing at midnight, because you can eat at 7, 8 o'clock at night. And then by the time that you get to midnight, it's been 4 hours and you're ready to rock. Another thing is the time of night. We just discussed that. You can practice anytime, and I would encourage you to practice anytime. I don't know if Will or any of you guys are out there that were around when it first started happening, but after the night that I got the spin, and I only got like a little more than a quarter of a spin. I took my rig to work and set it up on my drawing board. Every time I went by it, I was like, bam, 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 bam. And I just got pretty obsessed about it until I really wore that groove down. And it opens up so many other things. It's like you're working on moving your energy, condensing your energy, putting that out there and moving something. It's really different. It's a whole different 180-degree shift from being deeply in a receptive mode and drawing things in and visions and clairvoyance. And actually, both of those things should wind up working really well together. That's the way the 4 classes were set up, so that all of this, you've got a car with a clean windshield and a full tank of gas. If you only have one or the other, you're not either going to be able to see where you're going, or you're not going to be able to turn the engine on. So always good to have both of those things in balance. And the more that you progress in one, it sort of elevates everything else. And that was a surprise to me as I got deeper and deeper into my practice. But it is really very real and a really great side effect. All right. All right, enough preamble. We are going to do a quick little grounding tonight and create some sacred space and talk to Angel Lauviah. Angel Lauviah, 17. I cannot tell you how many times I have pulled that exact card for people this week. And the fact that it's just kind of locked like that. I talked to my friend Leah, and she's like, "Yeah, I just pulled 17. Oh my God!" And because she was on the phone with me, and I pulled that for myself as well. So, an interesting card. I went really deep with Lauviah this week, and when I came back out of that, I had this really intense desire to play some piano. What? Okay. So I wound up just doing like this chord progression that went on for about a minute and a half. And like, I never changed any notes. I didn't add anything to it. It like is this conversation between me and Lauviah. And it's like not really, there's not musical structure to it, but I'm going to do a mix on it and a little video for it, and hope to share that with you next week. Let's see who's around here. Yeah. Hey, Leah, what's up? Hey, Rachel, what's up? Glad to see you. Glad to see you made it. Woohoo! Yeah, we've got some good players tonight. Hey, Grace, I saw your notify me thing, man. Be prepared. I'm crashing you. Yeah. Okay. Grace Grella has a really wonderful show with Michael Zinn called The Grace Grella Show. It'll be on Thursday night at 7 o'clock on YouTube. So scope it out. Grace is an amazing psychic and medium, and she has a live call-in line, and it's a good time. So scope it out if you get a few minutes. Okay. All right, let's get into some practice. We're going to take 3 really deep cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when you pull in with your diaphragm, not your lungs and the top of your chest. Pull in from your diaphragm. And when it feels like you've kind of gotten full, pull in a little more. Just pack yourself just full so you can't fit another single bit of air in there. And then when you push out with some force, so that not just, but you're, and again, when you get to that point where it feels like you've expended all that energy, keep pushing, even if you can't, even if it's just make sure you push all of that out. We're going to start a nice little energy scrape now. All right, so let's start. Inhale through the nose. Really pack it in and push out through the mouth. On the outside, do leave the world behind every single time. Focus on this moment. Inhale through the nose. Super deep. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. I ground any negative energy of any kind, of our own construction or anyone else's, in this frequency or any other. I ground any negative energy of any kind, of our own construction or any other, in this frequency or any other. I ground any negative energy of any kind, of our own construction or anyone else's, in this frequency or any other. I ground any negative emotional goo of our own construction or anyone else's, in this frequency or any other. I ground fear, pain, hate, rage, crazy rage, disappointment, resentment, apathy, deep grief, anger, jealousy, envy, I ground fear in all its faces and forms. I ground any mental goo of our own construction or anyone else's, in this frequency or any other. Negative thoughts of any kind, unused patterned energy, obsessive thoughts, circle thinking, negative thoughts about others, negative thoughts about us. And my word for the day, gossip. Cut it out. I ground any blockages to our material progress of our own construction or anyone else's, in this frequency or any other. Any blockages having to do with our home, our job, our finances, our friends and family, health, any blockages impeding the way for our forward progress in the material world. All right, I'm going to clean up the space. I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Ooh. Duke City. I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. We're grateful for our gathering again tonight, for our connection energetically and spiritually. We ask that you bless this space and make it our sacred haven for us to commune with the higher spirits and the source itself. And the source itself. And the source itself. We invite the angel Lauviah to share wisdom and joy with us. And as always, we give utmost thanks, gratitude, unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. That always feels so sparkly and fresh. Love it. All right. Okay, let's get moving a little bit. Garcon, if you would bring up Angel Lauviah, please. The angel of revelation, indeed. Go back to that. Go back to that for just a second. As you can see, it's the 10 of Swords associated with this card. So last week, it was like the mental agony of thinking about how things could be. And this particular card, it's kind of like after the swords have fallen, man, the pain has already happened. It's all over with. And you're just left to figure out what you want to get up and go do. So it's a pretty intense little card. But a really worthwhile one too. And I think that's why it's continued to be a theme for me this week. Jacob, if you'd bring up the reading, please. You feel betrayed by your trusted friends, disillusioned, your false vision in a spiritual matter is crumbling. You feel as if you have been stabbed in the back. These feelings are creating extreme despair, depression, and a deep sense of loss. Man, I know who this is going to. Ooh. A new dawn always rises, bringing with it hope for a better day. Let go of your fears. Let go of your fears. Let go of your fears. Fuck fear. They led you to this negative thinking. That's yeah, all the doors that led you right to the room you're sitting in now. It's your self-created prophecy that things would not work out. Give yourself the right to give up, lose the untrustworthy friends, and abandon this broken project. Stop fighting these losing battles. Surrender and face your fears head on, and you will discover something wonderful has happened. You're free. That's not scary. That's amazing. You're free. You discover that the monster you fear isn't half as bad as you think it is. That is absolutely quintessential Ten of Swords. You know, it's like laying there and the Nine of Swords and the swords are hanging over you and thinking of all the ways it's going to hurt is 1,000 times worse. And once they've already fallen, it's over with and you can just move on. You are free. You discover that the monster you fear isn't half as bad as you think it is. Broaden your thinking. Your life is not over. Use your imagination. Visualize your best life. Every vision is an illusion until you make it real. Your reality is dependent on your point of view. Alter your mind and you immediately alter your reality. What you think, you become. You know, that's the benchmark of everything we've been talking about doing. You know, sending energy out. The frequency that you send out attracts people that are your lessons and your joys and all of those things. And the situations that you're attracting, you know, they go out to, if they're difficult lessons, those lessons you sort of are emanating to show up so that you can learn and evolve and get better and figure it out and figure out that life doesn't have to be so painful and that what you send out, you're there. You know, I hear a lot of people that talk metaphysical goodness, but then, and not just metaphysical goodness, like preachers and all kinds of people that purport to be of the spirit. And then you look at their lives and there's nothing about the way they live their lives that connect to that. So it's a joyous card. I'm feeling really compelled to pull one card for the whole group for tonight. So I'm going to do that. Words of wisdom for our intrepid crew. Words of wisdom for our intrepid crew. Words of wisdom for our intrepid crew. Haha, Angel 48, the angel of fertility. Yeah, this is a good one. It's always one of my favorite cards, too. These still trip me out. And there's enough time involved now, distance from it, that it's crazy. I pick them up sometimes and hard to remember that I actually did them. Yeah. You're experiencing worry, anxiety, and fear, feeling timid, insecure, and defensive. Allow yourself to feel it. You know, it's okay. It really is. Look at your deepest desires and recognize which has heart and passion and enough meaning and power to sustain you. You can't make yourself do stuff. You got to do the stuff that calls you, and then it's not work, and then it's joy. Now, focus all of your energy on it. Think of your mind like a magnifying glass. Bring the scattered light of all your ideas down to a single concentrated point that catches fire and breaks through. Oh, yeah. Experience your determination to create something from your dreams and do something with them. A surprise event is coming. Happy, happy. It will be auspicious and improve your attitude. A definite change for the better. You are on the right track. Waste no time. Success is for the patient. Look for the signs of success and follow it through. Never give up, even when the going gets tough. Offer your insecurity up in prayer, and it will be replaced with spiritual strength. Woohoo. So anybody out there looking for a live reading? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. All right, then without further ado, let's get into moving something. So we'll start small. We'll start with this guy first. We're going to use this. This is just an old candlestick. It's metal, and I've used it for a long time, so it has a charge. The more you use these things over and over, they kind of build up your frequency. It makes it easier. So when I was first working, this is an old boombox antenna, right? Telescopes. So I would carry this around, and I would just make sure that it was just saturated with my energy. And then before I would start to spin it, I would make sure that I was pouring energy into it, that I was sitting there thinking in my mind it had already happened. Oh, Zen, I'll catch you after this. And so in my mind, with great clarity, therefore in the astral, the rod was already moving. It wasn't about asking it to move or seeing if it would move. It was already a foregone conclusion that it was going to move, right? So as with anything spinning, counterclockwise sends it out in a spiral. Clockwise brings it into a spiral. So if you're looking to pull something to it, so if you're trying to pull something to you, you would spin it in a clockwise fashion. If you're trying to send something away or send out energy to something or someone else, then you would use a counterclockwise zone. So when you're first getting it to move, what you're going to be doing is gathering your juice as much as you can and getting that solid ball inside you, and then taking that energy to your hand, in your right hand. If your projective hand is your right hand if you're right-handed, but the opposite if you're left-handed. And your other hand is your receptive hand, and the hand that receives. Like for a right-handed person, energy flows into the left side of your body. It flows around up and down and projects out to the right. So that's the most natural place to be pushing against stuff. And you're just going to be visualizing that energy pouring out of your hand. Now, this is a funny story. When I first started doing this, you're just hoping to get something to happen, and you're putting as much energy as you can in it. But I didn't know anything about collimating it, which was bringing it down to a little point, which was in the middle of that reading. It just talked about that, bringing it down to a point like a magnifying glass and getting enough energy to have it move. So when I was first doing it, I was spraying man, it was hitting the rod, but it was hitting everything behind the rod too. And I learned that the hard way when I blew up several of my musical equipment, that my guitar processor, my Orville like processor, just shot. So if you're going to practice and you're going to do this, make sure that you're moving. There are no electronics behind what's back there, right? Which is why I'm facing this way, and you'll be seeing my back really more than this, because I don't want to like push any energy towards the computer. And the thing to understand is that you're using your energy and your light, and that light is an actual piece of the source. And that infinite power and creative potential is what you're actually made of. And you're just waking those things up. And you have to tell your skeptic to go take a hike. I mean, really, like, my skeptic was really brutal. And I had to just make a deal with him just to like hold off. Don't say anything, man. Give me a fair shot here before you start tearing anything down. Go away. I don't want to hear about you. And then, to be true, after I wound up being able to push it for a couple of weeks, and I'm starting to get 2 or 3 spins, I'm thinking my skeptic's going to go away, but he's no, it's the air conditioning vent, it's the this, it's the that. Somebody walked by and hit it. Oh yeah, and so finally I came up with a thing like, if you can start it still, you can move it halfway around, stop it, and make it move, coming back around. That was always the thing that convinced my skeptic that it was all good. All right. So collimating your energy as you're pushing your energy out, rather than just pushing a wide ass like spread field of energy. Visualize in your mind. You have to understand that your energy is infinitely sculptable. It will be anything you tell it to be. So with intent, focus your energy on seeing that energy leaving your hand in a very collimated, like pinpoint laser. Boom. And you hit right on the outer edge of the rod, and boom, then you're going. Okay, enough talking. All right, we're going to start with the small one first. So what's happening is that you're balancing on this so that it's really just on a single point, and there's not a lot of torque or friction that's going to stop this from moving. So it's pretty unstable, and it doesn't take a whole lot of energy to get it going. And the small size was not intimidating when I first started using it. Yeah, that's for Jilly. Okay. Apparently the effect is getting it to balance. Yeah. Oh, that's what's going on. Overhead fan, no good. Yeah. All right. Oh, thank you. Okay. Jacob, I didn't clean the crystal. Ah. Okay. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Jesus. I hate that moment. All right, so grab it, pull it, release. Push it, release. Grab with your receptive, pull it. There we go. There we go. Man, just having a heart attack. So you can use this to charge things. You can put a sigil under this. Can you see this? Yeah. Okay. I love watching it torque up, right? Oh, yeah. Woohoo! All right, just because I'm a glutton for punishment, we're going to try the copper pipe. This one is ticky. There we go. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. Don't roll off. It's hard to talk and be in the middle of this at the same time because I feel like I'm about 10 times bigger than me. I'm like, oh my God, it feels so good. Well, there you have it. Ooh, let me have a second here and I might come back to earth. It makes you literally feel like you're 10 times bigger outside your body. In the middle of that, you like feel absolutely invincible. Like there's absolutely nothing you can't do. And truth be told, with enough, there's really nothing you can't do. There's nothing that's impossible. All right, Mr. Zen, I have not forgotten about you. Any questions about any of that? By any chance? Yeah. Okay. Grab on, try it out. There's not a single part of me that like feels like on a video of any kind, you can convince somebody that this is real. If they don't believe, they're not going to be convinced. I mean, you can make anything a trick in video. That's what I've done my whole career. But what I'm hoping happens out of this is that you, even if you don't think it's absolutely real, that you're intrigued enough to try it, to open up that part of you that can make you be your biggest self, and a whole part of you, a whole universe inside you that you haven't tapped yet, that's there waiting for you to open the door. And that's my hope, that this would spur some people on to that. All right, here we go. Words of wisdom from my friend Michael Zen. Words of wisdom from my friend Michael Zen. Words of wisdom from my friend Michael Zen. This is an old friend. The angel of breaking the circle. Particularly like that card too. I have to say, like I had bad wizard mise en place, because that second crystal, or the first crystal I tried to start spinning on, Jacob and I had been working with. I did not. I got it at the last second. I was thinking maybe I'd do two rods at the same time, and I neglected to clean it up. I didn't clean up the book that it was on. Like, it was all like gooky, and as you can see, it has an effect. So bad wizard. Go ahead and bring up the reading. You are at an impasse and have no idea which way to turn. The crashing waves of your emotions make it difficult to know what to do. You don't want to rock the boat, so you're very reluctant to express your opinions unless you're forced to. You seek to maintain calm through your projected rationality, which causes you to ignore your intuitions. It is the conflict between your opinions and others which is causing the stalemate and indecision. You already know what to do. You're just telling yourself you don't in order to avoid a difficult situation. Wow. The picture is clear. Have you deliberately closed your eyes and told yourself you were blind so you will not have to choose between friend and enemy? It's this very choice which is your first step to involving yourself with people again. Your attempts to protect yourself have walled off your heart and stifled your emotions. This attempt to stop your emotions is literally making you more emotional. Let go in stillness. This, yeah, breaks old patterns. This is a great angel to call on, help you with that scenario. All right, let's see. Anybody else? I don't think so. All right, well, it looks like we've yeah, long breath out. Exactly. All right, so I guess we've done enough damage for the evening, and I just really want to encourage everybody to get on the stick and give it a whirl and see what you come up with. I'd love to hear in the next couple of weeks some success stories, and if you go for it and you get some little pieces of success, I am a delighted person to help. And moving on to the next one. So I love being the telekinetic Johnny Appleseed. So anyway, we're going to close up. We're going to close up shop for the night. Thank you very much. As always, please hit the subscribe, the share, leave some comments down below, please. That helps us a whole lot. Jason Deloche, glad you're here. Practice, dude. Send me a video of you doing it, man. And come back. J-Lo, what up? All my good friends showing up tonight, man. It was a special evening. I don't do effects very often, and I used to want to show everybody, but now I don't like. I just do them for when they're needed, and for people that want to learn and follow the path too. I'm happy to give those pieces away and share the wealth. So anyway, again, with gratitude, thanks. I'll see you again next week, and till then, later on.